Okay. What's the second more important goal? What are we trying to teach kids? Yeah, those life lessons. Trying to teach them about life. And how they learn to conduct their life here is how they learn to finish their lives up there, right? There's not a huge leap from the locker room to the boardroom, right? How they behave in sports is generally how they're going to behave outside of sports. So we need to get them to conduct it in the right way. As a coach, can you try to do both of those things at the same time all the time? Or sometimes do you have to make a choice? Sometimes might you have to make a choice and sacrifice what might help you on the scoreboard in order to teach a life lesson. I see heads nodding. Give me an example.
Bad attitude.
Bad attitude, right? What do you got to do with a kid with bad attitude? Sit him down. What if he's your best player? Humble him. Okay. So when you do sit him down, and basketball is a great sport because you can sub freely, right? Some sports you take them out, they're done, right? So you sit him out. What do you do while he's sitting out? Talk to him, right? And what do you hope happens when you talk to him? He listens. Breakthrough moment, right? He comes along and gives you the right answer, and then you can put your best player back in, right? What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't give you the right answer? What if he still has the attitude? What do you got to do?
Keep him away to the next game.
Yeah, you got to keep him on the bench, right? You got to keep him on the bench. We had won a CIF championship one year when I was at Bishop Vermont in 2002, and the following year we were trying to repeat, and we had one of these kids that just had that attitude. And we had a situation in the quarterfinals. I knew it was going to come up, and we sat him, and he didn't have the right attitude. And so I kept him, and the lead went from 8 to 10 to 12 to 14, and we were losing, and my, 300 assistant coaches that were in the stands were put Donald back in, but you know what? It's not the way we do things here, right? So you teach that kid the lesson, okay? Who else do you teach? The rest of the team. And maybe the future players that are coming up, or the people that are watching. Right? Or the people who are trying to decide whether they want to be involved in your program, right? It's not the way we do things here, right? We've got higher standards than that. We're going to live up to them. And this is more important than that, right? In what we're doing. Does that make sense? Got to do it. Got to do it. And even in the professional, level, they make that decision sometimes, right? There are some people that are struggling right now that are not getting opportunity here because they can't handle life there. Okay? So sometimes it gets to that point as well. Every time that happens, that's a great time, right? That's a teachable moment. Don't avoid them. Run to them, right? Run to those conflicts and teach, right? Because that's when you can really break through, right? When you get to that point where you got a tough moment and you're trying to make that decision, right? You uphold the culture that you want, teach a kid a life lesson, right? That's when you're creating men and women, right? That's what we want at the end of the day. This separation, we said we got coaches that are trying to win and teach life lessons, and we got parents that want to commit to supporting you in teaching the life lessons, right? This is an important relationship, okay? And sometimes when you talk to parents and explain it, they think a couple of things. They think that you might not feel that the life lessons are that important and you're going to spend more time on the sport and let them do that. That's not the case. Sometimes parents think that you're telling them to stay out of your business, right? Let me worry about the coaching, right? Let me worry about winning and you worry about your kid, right? And that's not the case either, right? What the case is that you guys got to work in a partnership, right? We know in school that if kids, teachers, and parents work together, kids are going to learn a little bit more. That should be that way in sports too, right? I mean, I taught for a lot of years, and not once did I ever have a parent waiting outside the classroom door asking me, how many times I called on their kid or where their kid was sitting, right? But they'll wait for you and ask how many minutes they played and what position they're playing, right? We need to get them to cooperate, okay? Because it's an educational athletic opportunity. So what are some of the life lessons that kids are going to learn in sports that parents can help support so that your team gets better? Yeah. Accountability. What else? Teamwork. More? Dealing with adversity, right? Being resilient and grit, bouncing back from failure.
Add goal setting.
Say it again?
Goal setting.
Goal setting, right? Attitude, right?
Perseverance.
Perseverance. Check some of those I just wrote, quickly, right? If they were committed and made sure they came to your practices and workouts and clinics, right, and worked out with their best effort, right, with a great attitude and teamwork and resilient, right? I mean, if parents made sure, if the adults in that kid's life made sure that these things were true, do you think that would help you win? Yeah, definitely, right? Maybe more important than whatever passing drill or offense you do. Yeah? I mean, if you had a bunch of kids that did this, you're going to be really, really successful no matter, who's coaching. Okay? Because if they do these things, they're going to learn whatever it is that you do, and they're going to be better. Right? So it's that cooperation, that teamwork between the parents and the coaches is really, really important in making kids do as well as they can. Right? That's where we're at. Does that make sense?